cooperative is similar to corporation. Okay? So, di ba, nakita mo yung nakalimutan mo, paano pala tanggalin yung isang director? Okay? In case of vacancy, sino magvo-vote? Paano pala ang registration ng isang cooperative? So, if ever may nakalimutan ka, i-base mo na lang yung discussions natin sa corporation. Alright? Okay, so what are cooperatives or what is a cooperative? So when we speak of a cooperative, it is an autonomous and duly registered association of persons, okay, with a common band of interest. Okay, so take note of this phrase, with common band of, yan, this one, tandaan to, with common band of interest, who have voluntarily joined together to achieve their social, economic, and cultural needs and aspirations by making equitable contributions to the capital required, patronizing their products and services, and accepting a fair share of risks and benefits of the undertaking in accordance with the universally accepted cooperative principles. So as you can observe dito sa cooperative, it's like a partnership, di ba? It's like a partnership, kumbaga makikita mo yan in between partnership and corporation. O, sino itong mga to? Of course, these are group of persons. When we say persons, they can be natural or artificial persons, yung mga juridical persons natin. With, of course, with common band of interest. And it requires, of course, equitable contribution to the capital. In order, of course, to have profit, whatever the profits na generate ng cooperative, then it may declare these profits in the as dividends to the members. Ito na ulit, sorry. Yan. Ito pala yung sinasabi natin kanina. Okay? So, minimum paid-up capital of federation and union. The minimum paid-up capital for any proposed federation or union shall be as follows. So, di ba sabi natin kanina, itong secondary and tertiary, they can be called federation. Nakuha? Now, secondary cooperatives, members niya ay primary. Tertiary cooperatives, ang members niya ay secondary. Nakuha? Now, kapag secondary cooperative na federation, ang minimum paid-up capital niya ay 500,000. Pag tertiary naman, group of secondary cooperatives, ang minimum paid-up capital niya ay 5 million or whatever required by the feasibility study, whichever is higher. Nakuha? Eh sir, ano po itong union? Union actually is a group of, it can be group of primary or secondary or tertiary cooperatives. Okay? Parang parang halimbawa sa isang corporation, may mga empleyado, nag-form sila ng union. Ganon ang ibig sabihin nito. Ang pinagkaiba kasi ng federation and union dito, ang federation shall refer to cooperative the members of which are primary cooperatives doing the same line of business. Okay? Pero pag union, kahit anong line of business ng isang cooperative, kung gusto niyang sumali dun sa union na to, then pwede. Okay? That is why in here, hindi na applicable yung minimum paid up capital or even a subscribed capital when it comes to union. Why? Because it's just a mere organization of cooperatives, itong union na to. Unlike, of course, when it comes to a federation. Okay. So, when we say union, shall refer to cooperative, the members of which are registered cooperatives and or federations. Yeah, so pwede rin, mga federations. Organized purposely to represent the interests and welfare of all types of cooperatives at the provincial, city, regional, and national level. Halimbawa, doon sa isang provincial, sa isang province, May mga cooperatives, halimbawa ito si A, B, C, D, E, F. Ito si A, B, C, the same yung kanilang nature of business and therefore they can put up a federation. Nakuha? What kind of federation? Well, it depends. Okay? Depende. Secondary cooperative ba yung mga yan? Kung secondary cooperative, ito. Ang requirement sa kanila ay 500,000. Pero kapag mga tertiary cooperatives itong mga to, ang requirement, and they would like to put up a federation, ang requirement sa kanila ay 5 million. Or whatever required by the feasibility study, whichever is higher. Nakuha? Or ito, the same din, the same. The same line of business or the same nature of business. Can they put up a federation? Yes. Kapag secondary sila, 500,000. Kapag tertiary sila, 5 million. Eh sir, ito, lahat sila, can they form a federation? The answer is no. Why? Kasi magkaiba yung kanilang business. But can they form a union? The answer is yes. They can form a union. Okay? Why? Kasi ang union naman, it can be any types of cooperative. Okay? It can be at the provincial, it can be at the city, regional, or national levels. Nakuha? So that's the difference between a federation and a union. So huwag niyo kalimutan yung minimum requirement or minimum paid up capital when it comes to federation. Tingnan mo muna kung secondary cooperatives ba yung mga yan or tertiary cooperatives. Alright? Okay. Next. Ayan, puna tayo sa shares. So meron na tayong articles of cooperation. Meron na rin tayong yung 25% requirement, including of course yung minimum paid up capital natin. Magkano ulit? 15,000 kapag primary, 100,000 kapag multipurpose, 500,000 kapag secondary federation, 5 million or whatever required by the feasibility study, whichever is higher when it comes to tertiary federation. Kapag union, wala. Okay? I repeat, kapag union, wala. Wala siyang minimum paid up capital. Okay, punta na tayo sa common and preferred shares. A cooperative can classify also its shares whether dalawa lang ang binigay ng cooperative code, pwede mong i-classify as common or preferred. Okay? Pero of course, may limitation when it comes to preferred. Ang preferred should not be more than 25%. So, ibig sabihin, up to 25% lang ng capital stock mo. Ang authorized capital stock mo ang preferred shares. Okay? So, up to 1/4. Ayan, nilagay pala dito. Preferred share capital shall not exceed 25% or 1/4 of the authorized capital of the cooperative. Nakuha? Yan. So, in here, the share capital of a cooperative may consist of common share capital and preferred share capital. Of course, alam naman natin pag sinabi natin preferred share, may certain rights and privileges over that of the common shares. Okay? If the latter is provided under the cooperative's articles of cooperation and bylaws. Take note, if the cooperative would like to issue a preferred shares, it must be expressly stated in the articles of cooperation and bylaws. Okay, so sinabi mismo dalawa, articles of cooperation and of course yung bylaws. Should the cooperative wish to have common and preferred shares, a statement to that effect should appear in its articles of cooperation specifying the amount of shares to be offered for common shares and for preferred shares. But again, limited lang yung numbers ng preferred shares natin. Ilan? 25%. So again, ang requirement dito, kapag gusto natin mag-issue ng preferred share, it should be expressly stated in the articles of cooperation. And of course, i-state din dun sa bylaws, okay, ng cooperative. Now, sinabi dito is, however, recommended that only the common share should be offered. Kasi nga, di ba, gusto natin pantay-pantay lahat ng mga members, yung pribilehyo, yung benefits ng members natin. That is why it's better for a cooperative to have a common, only one kind of share, which is a common share. Okay, kasi baka mamaya magkainggitan. Okay, at ito preferred na member ito kasi ang klase ng shares niya ay preferred shares. Hindi pala magandang itong cooperative na to, bias. Okay. So mas maganda common lahat. Now, should preferred share capital be offered, the rights and privileges of stockholders or preferred shall be provided, of course, in the bylaws. Kaya nga nilagay natin dito na pag nag-offer ang cooperative ng preferred, dapat naka-indicate din dun sa bylaws because of this one. Yung mga rights and privileges nila dapat nakalagay dun sa bylaws of a cooperative. But again, when it comes to preferred, up to ilan? 25% lang ng authorized capital shares. So again, lagyan mo ng asterisk yan. So yan yung mga pwede nilang itanong. Okay, composition ng isang ng authorized capital stock ng isang cooperative if ever they would like to offer a preferred shares. Ano yung maximum numbers of preferred shares? Dapat 25% lang. Kapag 10,000 shares yan, of course, ilan? 25% ng 10,000 shares. That's 2,500. Up to 2,500 shares lang ang preferred shares. Alright? Okay. By the way, sa corporation, baka tanungin nyo, sir, sa corporation, kapag gusto nila mag-issue ng preferred shares, of course, it should be stated in the articles of incorporation. Okay? So, halos parehas lang sa cooperative. Right? So, what is a share? Okay, when we speak of a share, yeah, refers to a unit of capital in a primary cooperative, the par value of which may be fixed to any figure not more than 1,000. Okay, nakalagay dyan, not more than 1,000, pero dun sa pakidagdag na lang dyan, dun sa implementing rules and regulations ng RA 9520 na banggit mismo na ang minimum dapat ay 100,000. 100 pesos. So 100, maximum is 1,000. So yan yung par value natin, ha? Yan. It is 100 to 1,000. It should not be less than 100. It should not be more than 1,000. Yung par value. Unlike sa corporation, walang limit. Okay? Ang may limitation lang doon is when it comes to no par. Kasi ang no par, it should not be issued for less than 5 pesos. Diba? Pero kapag par, pwedeng 1 peso, pwedeng less than 1 peso, pwedeng, of course, more than 1 peso. Pero pagdating sa cooperative, sinabi mismo, dapat 100 to 1,000. It should not be less than 100, it should not be more than 1,000. Okay? So kapag nag-invest ka sa isang cooperative, or if you would like to become a member of a cooperative, ang binibili mo sa kanila ay share. Share din ang binibili mo sa kanila. Hindi yung, ito pera, ito na invest ko, so magiging member ako. Hindi. Bibili ka ng share. Okay? And of course, yun yung magsasabi kung isa kang member or hindi. Dapat may share ka. Right? Now, after complying with all the requirements of the law, okay, including the requirements of the Cooperative Development Authority, ang i-issue sa iyo ngayon ay hindi Certificate of Cooperation, ha? It is Certificate of Registration. Baka kasi isipin mo, bakit sir sa cooperative ay sa corporation? Ang sinasubmit natin sa SEC ay Articles of Incorporation. Tapos ang ini-issue ng SEC ay Certificate of Incorporation. Okay? Of course, iba naman sa cooperative. Ang cooperative, ang ini-issue natin, ay ang sinasubmit natin ay Certificate of Cooperation. Pero ang binibigay sa atin ay Certificate of Registration. Okay? Yan yung binibigay ng Cooperative Development Authority. Now, take note. Meron tayong approval by inaction. Ganun din sa corporation. Sa cooperative, if the CDA failed to act on your application within a period of 60 days from filing, then such the registration, okay, I should say, is deemed approved. nakuha. Unless, of course, if the delay is attributable to the applicant. So in here, kapag yung CDA, it failed to act on your registration, okay, within a period of 60 days, then it is deemed approved. Yung application mo for registration is deemed approved. So dito, meron din tayong approval by inaction. Pero of course, when it comes to corporation, iba. Iba yung number of days. Ilan? 180 days. Diba? 6 months. Pero dito, 60 days. Binibigyan lang natin ang CDA ng 2 months to act on your application for registration. Otherwise, if it failed to act within that 60-day reglementary period, then it is deemed approved. Thus, wala na magagawa sa CDA kundi mag-issue siya ng Certificate of Registration. Alright? So, yan yung approval by inaction natin. Yes, sir. Paano kung dinenay ng CDA? Okay, denied yung ating application. In that case, you still have a remedy, which is to appeal. Okay? You can appeal the denial of your application for registration with or before the office of the President. Why? Because sabi nga natin kanina, ang CDA is under the office of the President. But take note, it should be within So in case the denial of the application, an appeal shall lie with the office of the President within 90 days from receipt of notice of such denial. Okay? So take note, you should file your appeal within 90 days from denial. The failure of the office of the President to act on your appeal within 90 days, o 90 days naman, from the filing thereof shall mean approval. Okay? It shall mean approval of the said appeal or said application. So sa level ni CDA, binibigyan natin siya ng 60 days. Sa level ni Office of the President, binibigyan natin siya ng 90 days to act on your appeal. If the Office of the President failed to act on your appeal, then your application for registration is deemed approved. Okay? But take note, you should file your appeal within the 90-day reglementary period from receipt of such notice of denial. So 90 days. So halos parehas lang itong 90 days na to at saka yung 90 days na to na binibigay natin sa Office of the President to act on your appeal. Okay? Of course, a certificate of registration issued by CDA under its official seal shall be a conclusive evidence that the cooperative therein mentioned is duly registered unless it is proved that the registration thereof has been cancelled. So again, lagyan mo ng asterisk yan. Conclusive evidence. Yung certificate of registration is a conclusive evidence. Okay? That corporation, that cooperative is duly registered with the CDA. Alright? Yan, yung certificate of registration natin. So meron tayong appeal. Next, ito, sabi natin kanina, if you file your application for registration, dapat yung articles of cooperation mo, napasama dyan yung bylaws. Okay? So, hindi pwedeng i-file yung bylaws after the issuance of your registration by the, after issuance of your certificate of registration by the CDA. Okay? Dapat sabay. Okay? So, sabi nga dito, nakalagay nga, the bylaws shall be filed at the same time as the articles of cooperation. So, ano nakalagay dun sa bylaws natin? So, parang bylaws din ng corporation yan. Una, of course, the qualification for the admission to membership and the payment to be made or any interest to be acquired as a condition for exercise of the right of membership. Next, number 2, the right and liabilities, of course, of the members. Take note, yung mga members, like stockholders, they have limited liability, meaning they are only liable up to the extent of their contribution, okay, or investment. So, may limited liability din mga members natin. Parang stockholders din. Next, number 3. Okay, number 3. the circumstances under which membership is acquired and maintained and lost. Okay? So mamaya i-discuss natin kung kailan pwedeng tanggalin ang isang member. Okay? Next, number 4, procedure to be followed in cases of, ito pala, termination of membership. Yan. So usually, parang sa corporation, ito yung mga internal processes and procedures that governs, okay? Or that govern the cooperative. Yung mga internal processes and procedures nila.